Welcome to the Builders Coach Show. Great to have you with us. Couple of days out from Christmas. What,
Yay.
2-3 days now, depending on where you are in the world?
Christmas time. Smells like Christmas in here. Oh.
It does. It sure
So
does.
good.
I love it. So it's the season for giving, the season for sharing. And that's what this show is all about. It's about sharing ideas from our best clients, our own learnings as well, and then new information about what's coming up, our latest events and that sort of thing. So we've got plenty to talk about. But first up, just reflecting on 2017. Hopefully you've had a fantastic year. What's been the highlight for you?
I'd say the highlight for me is probably getting back onto the stage. So I'm a theatre trained actress, but I delved into the musical theatre world this year.
Oh yeah.
And scary, but it was awesome. It was nice to be back on the stage again.
Rising Star Award. Rising Star Award. Say no more. Big star.
We'll see.
Gotcha. So I have to say for myself personally, many wins, but one that stands out for me was my daughter, my eldest daughter Katie. She's 26 years old, for those of you that don't know, and she's decided she's going to become a coach. So hot off the press, you've heard it here first. Hayley Haggerschweiler launching her coaching career. And man, I've got to tell you, if you've got kids, you know what it's like. You want to impart your pearls of wisdom, everything that you've learned onto your kids. Ideally, you want them to be more successful than you, right? So from when I can, far back as I can remember, when Kaylee was 5 years old, I've been trying to instill everything I've learned from coaching, goal setting, bits of ideas that I picked up along the way that I thought were relevant to her. And I remember when she was 10 years old, her saying to me, "Dad, could you stop treating me like a client? Stop coaching me. I'm not one of your clients." And
I think I've said that a few times.
yeah, I think you have actually. But she, I remember her just, not being interested. It was just like, yeah, whatever, Dad, whatever. And recently, a couple of months ago, she came to me and said, "Hey, Dad, I want to coach." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever, Katie." And I thought, okay, I'll test her. I gave her a terabyte of all the best content, information, recording, books, videos that I had. And to her credit, she has dived deep. She's been absorbing, studying, researching, staying up till 1 in the morning. Her fiance is pissed off because he hardly sees her now.
Yeah, well, they've got a newborn and a toddler as well, so.
Starting a young family. But she's all in. And I've got to say, I'm so excited because she's embracing it. And one word, legacy, right? My kids, she's going to go places. And I want her to be, and she will be more successful than me. So that's a big highlight for me. But looking forward, 2018, what are you most looking forward to, Kelly?
Oh, well, it's sort of bittersweet with Emily starting school, our second youngest daughter. She's going to start school next year. And I thought I was ready.
Man, I freaking love that. How good's it when your kids go to school? They're out of nappies,
I
they're
don't
starting
want her
to
go.
read.
Oh, no.
Soon she'll be doing the dishes, man. Shame.
Oh.
What's it about mothers that get all sooky when the kids go to school?
I don't know.
Man, it's exciting.
Because I thought I was ready, but
2018 for me personally, our trip to the USA. Freaking love that place. So looking forward to that amongst many other things. Hopefully you've got your holidays and long weekends, sporting events, all that stuff booked in. If you haven't, now's the perfect time to do so. But in line with sharing, I want to share a conversation I had yesterday with one of our Sydney clients, Darren Maynard, and we're talking about the importance of gratitude as it relates to cortisol. So are you familiar with cortisol?
yep, that's the stress hormone. So after adrenaline's released, you get cortisol floods your body.
Release.
And it releases this chemical cortisol through your body, and it really impairs your judgment.
And your IQ. Well, that's the research. I'm an empiricist. I love the research that comes out when they do, the science gets involved in this sort of thing. And it's shown that if you're in business, regardless of the level of intensity or the level of aspiration you have, you're going to take a few knocks. There's going to be ups and downs. Business can be both cruel and kind. So you're going to have an adrenaline release. You're going to have your cortisol levels fluctuate. And I've had a mate who had his cortisol levels tested, and they came out very similar to someone who's in Afghanistan on the special forces, who faces combat situations. So cortisol, though, when it rises, sends your IQ through the floor. Literally halves your IQ. So not a good thing to have when you're trying to make important business decisions.
No.
All right. So the thing that can offset that is gratitude, and the thing that leads you to gratitude is practicing mindfulness. Another very common term, very topical these days. So how do you get to that point? Well, you've got to be present. So meditation, prayer.
Well, there's an app for that actually.
For praying.
There's an app. It's
for mindfulness.
Yes, it's called Calm. So if you can download it from the iTunes store or wherever you App Store or whatever.
Man, I heard that's the bomb. I haven't tried it myself, but you know when you get reviews.
80,000 reviews.
82,000 reviews.
Yeah.
It's a 4.7 out of 5. It's called Calm. It's got a little 15-second thing. You may have already seen it. It's all over Facebook at the moment as well.
Take my own advice.
You see pictures of beautiful rainforests, and then there's like snowflakes, and there's even music to put people to sleep, that sort of thing. So whatever it is, if you're busy, you obviously got to manage your energy. It's important to clear the slate in your mind and just find a little quiet space to just relax, get those cortisol levels down, because again, it's not going to be the right state to make important decisions in. So just wanted to share that, and think about your habits. This is a good time again to think about your habits, the good habits that you want to carry forward into 2018, the bad habits you want to shed, and then maybe some new habits you want to develop. So that could be one right there.
So a keep, stop, start, almost.
Keep, stop, start, exactly. What habits do you want to keep, stop, and start?
Yeah.
Jot them down, and then new habits are tough, man. They're tough to form. I'd strongly recommend like a 100-day challenge if it's something really, really important. But I thought that was really interesting. So gratitude, by the way, overrides every other emotion, including anger, anxiety, and fear. So it's incredibly powerful. And just getting yourself into that state, ideally in the morning, or whenever you're feeling anxious, scared, fearful, whatever it is, just use something like Calm or whatever it is to get your mind present, eliminate those negative emotions, and to get back on track. So I thought that was really interesting. Now, something else I want to talk about, it's the concept of think, do. So think, get an idea, and then do being the implementation, the follow through, the taking action. In my opinion, action is far more important than just a good idea. Everyone's got good ideas, there's plenty out there. It's about the implementation.
Yeah.
And a lot of people struggle with that. So I want to tell a story about Rob Romanella from Broda. You guys will probably be familiar with him. He's all over our Vimeo page and everyone else's as well. Rob's a bit of a show pony, man. He would love to be here right now in front of the camera, right? So I know you would, Rob, if you're listening. But I've got to share Rob's story. This is really important in terms of demonstrating the importance of taking action, right? And the results that you can get when you do take action quickly. So this show is actually an example of that, right? There was an idea, and then bam, we followed through and we started doing it.
idea.
Yes.
Just say.
All Kelly's idea, yeah. So Rob, go back to Rob. Saw him in Melbourne. I was down in Melbourne on Monday. We did a bit of shoot down there, and he was telling me that him and a mate were talking about big building companies. He said, wouldn't it be great to sit down, when I say big building companies, guys that are doing 500 builds a year. Now, I know most of you listening, I'm assuming you turning over less than 10 million a year. So generally, we have those sorts of size builds. Maybe some of you are doing a little bit more, but generally, it's the smaller guys that we tend to work with. So 10 mil or less a year turnover. So Rob was thinking, imagine speaking to one of these guys that do 500 homes a year, bouncing some questions off him, asking how he developed his process and his people to get to that size. So the mate he was talking to said, well, good luck with that. There's no way you'll get through to them. If you try to phone them, you're not going to get through. And that's all Rob needed to hear, man. You're not going to get through. There's no chance. So what does he do? He gets on the blower, 1-300 number, gets onto the receptionist. She puts him straight through to the owner of the business. All right. Now, he wasn't expecting that. He wasn't exactly sure what to say next. He went through, though, being Rob, this guy shoots from the hip. He's very quick off the mark. And he found common ground very quickly, something to do with carpentry. I'm probably butchering the story, Rob, I apologise in advance. Anyway, gets to this guy and he says, eventually, look, I would love to meet with you. Even for 15 minutes, I come to your office. I'd just love to bounce some ideas if you get your opinion on a few things. The guy says, hey, I'm looking at my calendar. How's Monday at 2 o'clock? This is last Friday. So bang, booked in within the next 24 hours of the next working day. Goes and sees him. Now, I just want to stop and pause right there. You got to ask yourself, be honest with yourself, right? If you had a mate of yours say, yeah, there's no way you'll get through to one of those guys, would you then, are you the type of person who would then pick up the phone and have a crack? Maybe you are. Good on you if you are. When you get through the receptionist and she says, I'm putting you through, at that point, not having a game plan for what you're going to say to the guy, would you eject yourself from the call or continue to go through? So I just want to say that because Rob went and saw him. He bounced some ideas of him. He said, look, most of the things that the guy did is very common sense in terms of process and people development, and most of what we talk about at Builders Coach anyway. But the main thing that he got away, or took away from the meeting, was that when he looked at this bloke, he said, this guy's the same as you and me. He's absolutely no different to myself and Dave, Rob's business partner. And that was profound, because from my experience, most people put a cap on their potential. So the only thing stopping you from achieving anything is you. It's just your belief or your view of yourself and what's possible for you. And right now, we're living in times where there's more resource at your disposal. There's more information sharing than there's ever been. We've got more platforms out there, social media platforms. We've got more technology and efficiency through systems and technology. You know, using things like Xero, Receipt Bank, things are paperless, we're getting real-time data. So we've got better resource. On paper, we should really do much, much better than a lot of the role models who built big, successful businesses in the 80s and 90s. But I want to commend you, Rob, for taking action, thinking, doing, straight off the bat, and that's the sort of results you get. So, very powerful habit is another great habit to develop. If that's not one of your strong suits, right, you can obviously build it like a muscle. Now, I do want to mention something else, moving on from that. The 10X webinar, I spoke about it last time. I've added it in the show notes below. If you haven't seen the 10X webinar and you're a client of mine, you have to do it, right? I'm prescribing it, shoving it down the throat of every one of my clients. If you're not a client, I highly recommend it, okay? I was telling people to go and do it last time we spoke about it, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm absolutely, like I say, shoving it down people's throats, prescribing, because I have great feedback. A couple of guys, one Claus up on the Goldie, he said he had the best 24 hours of this entire year.
Big call.
Big call, but after doing the exercises, right? He just had a light bulb moment, he had an epiphany. So if you haven't seen it, it's a compilation of truths, right? Tactics, strategies for goal setting that are like gravity, right? They just work. Why they work is less important than the fact that they do. So just follow the exercises. Now, there was another guy, I can't mention his name, but he did the exercise. There's a number of exercises to go through, but one of them is to take whatever goal you set and then 10x it. Now, he took it literally, because you can 10x your activity, you can 10x the quality of what you do, but he was looking at going for a 5 mil turnover. So he did about 2.5, 3 mil prior to setting the 5 mil goal, which was quite a big step up, doubling the volume of work, needing to restructure team and systems and everything else. But he looked at that and he said, okay, now 10x that. So he went to 50. So if you're doing 5 mil anywhere close to that annual turnover, and then you look at a 50 mil turnover, for him it was like, you know, it was a bit of a shock to the system. But when he sat with it, he just sat with it for a while, and he realized, you know what, based on the resource and everything and the experience that I have, I can go there. And he made a decision, he flicked the switch, decision with conviction, to go to 50 mil. So it's phenomenal. And he said to me, you know, he said, I've got this desire. I've got this desire inside me to be number one. I just want to be number one. And it was a concern. He said, I don't know if I'm doing it for the right reasons. And I said, man, what that desire is, we all have it in us, right? That's a natural, God-given something, whatever it is that's been inserted in us. It's like a blade of grass growing through the crack in the concrete. It's what makes plants want to grow. That is natural desire, and it is his desire to want to be the best version of himself. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in wanting to be number one and wanting to be the best version of yourself. And that's what I clearly communicated to this bloke, and good on him. So like I said, if you haven't already seen it, go watch the 10X webinar. It could be the most important thing you do this year. Now, Kelly, we've got some events coming up. We normally share our upcoming events. We've finished up for 2017, but we do have events coming up next year. What's our first event?
Well, it's on Thursday, the 15th of February. That's the day after Valentine's Day, the 14th. Thursday,
after Valentine's Day, guys.
15th of February at the HIA in Sydney. That's offices not too far from here in Macquarie Park, near Ryde.
That's
so
right.
That's on Thursday, 15th of Feb.
If you want to book in, please go to the HIA website, New South Wales, and register. It is their event. It's a Builders Coach and HIA event, but you need to book seats through them. And they take about 50 or 60 people, and then it gets booked out. So make sure you jump on and register if you're keen to join us.
And we've got something coming up in March in sunny Queensland.
Queensland, man. We had a boot camp, our own event in Homebush not so long ago. We had plenty of Queenslanders there. Love them. I personally love Queenslanders and love Queensland because it reminds me of where I grew up in Durban. So I've got a lot of China's mates that I grew up with that that live up that way. But we during the boot camp had guys saying, when are you coming to Queensland? When's the next event in Queensland? Yeah, we're gonna be running an event up there. It's gonna be a builders coach event, and we're running it with Kevin Renwick, who is the founder of Atondo Homes. Legend. We had him on stage at our boot camp. So that's going to be a fantastic event. You don't want to miss that. We haven't secured a date and a venue for that yet, but watch the space because we will soon. So parting thoughts. I don't have a quote as such, just a thought. It's going back to, don't put a ceiling on your potential. Right? There is no goal that you can set or imagine in your mind that your potential does not far exceed. So make sure you don't put a cap on it. I said it far too many times. So many people I know need to just get out of their own way and take the success that they so rightly deserve. So with that in mind, I just want to wish you and your family a very merry and happy new year. Please stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you in 2018. Take care.
Merry Christmas. See ya.